Well, project for today is to finish the wiring for this outdoor unit. We have to run the main feed out from the shutoff right there, and also some communication cable that we already ran along with the line set. Now we're separating this from the main power feeds. We're not running that comm cable in the conduit because you don't want interference between the communications and the power feed. So that's ran with the line set. This will get wrapped over with a sort of wrap that comes with this flange. I'll talk about that in another video. So we're just running this flex conduit here into this, and then we'll do the connection. So I purchased this right off Amazon, 25 feet of this stuff, and it came with a bunch of various fittings and whatnot. It came with some 90s, came with the regular connectors right here. So I'll put a link to that, an affiliate link in my description. So if you guys, it'll help me out if you guys purchase this using that link. And I'm just going to start having at this, and I'm just going to cut this. Tubing actually works really well, just cutting it with these PEX cutters. You could use a razor blade or whatnot, but this worked out really handy. Okay, so we finished running this flex conduit and fishing the wires through. I also made the connections on the breaker in here that you could see. It was definitely a little tricky just because I mentioned this in a previous video when I was installing the outdoor unit on the stand, that the utility room, the location of it, the interior wall ends up about right here, so I was not able to kick this further this way anymore. So it's about dead center, which makes it a little difficult to get behind here to work, but once it's all installed, it'll be perfect for just being able to open this up. You can reach right here, no problem, just to flip the breaker on and off. Not too bad, just struggled a slight bit there, but what you could see I did was also, it's good practice to not run the wires right out of the conduit and then right up into the breaker. There's two reasons why you'd want to do what's called a loop or a drip loop. In most cases, you do a drip loop for that exact reason. So if water was to come down into the top, if you had wires coming in to the top terminals, on this one we're coming from the bottom, for example, if it was coming in through the top, you'd want to make a loop and then back up around. So if water came down, it wouldn't just drop directly onto the terminal. It would follow the wire and drip off the bottom of it. Then the connection would go right up to the top of the live connection. So in this case, I do a loop because I just simply want a little extra in case you cut the wire too short, or in case you got to get in here later and move things around or adjust anything down the road. You always leave yourself a little bit of slack there. So I did that, and I'll probably I'll just leave enough slack in here in case, again, so in case you cut something short, you always got enough room to play with instead of pulling all new wire. So this is 6-gauge wire for 45 amps. Pretty thick, not difficult to work with. When you start getting above 6, that's when it just gets trickier. This is our comm wire. So this power is what you'll see here. Is you may be wondering why I also have another set of power wires here. So these are going to be powering the unit. The 6-gauge actually powers the outdoor unit. Then this will actually get fed back to the branch box that's inside the house, and will distribute the power to the branch box as well as both indoor units. So you have the option of wiring the branch box separately from another breaker, but I didn't want to add another breaker in the main panel. It's all part of the same system, so I figured I'd put it all in one, and that's why we have this other wire run out here. So I'm going to go ahead, clean these wires up, get them nice and tidy, and then connect them up to the terminals here. I just wanted to point out here that this terminal block here has a sticker over it, and if you lift it up, this is where it actually says for the branch box power supply. So they have this over here so that you don't probably randomly connect power to it. This is a feed out to the branch box. You wouldn't want to connect raw power into here. So it's nice they do that. They have everything labeled. This one says for the power supply, for the branch box, for the communication cable, and then for central control. So I'm not using central control, so I'm just going to be wiring those comm wires to this one. So there it is, pretty straightforward, wasn't bad. Probably took me a total of half hour to get this all squared away. So like I mentioned before, all of our terminals, we got all these wires connected, power feed to the outdoor unit, power feed back to the branch box, and our communication wires. So I went ahead and zip tied everything. I'm definitely a fan of zip tying everything together. I go through a lot of these things. It just makes it nice and neat and tidy, so when somebody comes and opens this up later for service or something, they're not fishing through wires. You're not having wires rubbing or chafing on anything that's going to wear through, because that could definitely happen. That's one thing, that's the main reason I do it. But hope you guys like this video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Give it a thumbs up. Check out all my other videos. We have tons of videos like this, installing all sorts of HVAC equipment, boilers, in fact building this entire house that we're not really done yet. The next project's going to be probably planting some trees and finally putting a lawn in. So I guess that's it for this one, and with that said, we'll see you guys in the next one.